Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Honest Pod with me, Ashley McAllister.
And me, Matthew Addy.
And we're back again for another episode full of shits and giggles.
Yay.
I just wanted to say sorry for, I think we missed last week. We did record the episode and I was in the middle of editing it, but I had some family drama and it really distracted me from getting it finished and up. So yeah, sorry about that, everyone. I will try harder. Matt told me off.
Did I?
No, you didn't. I'm joking.
Because I meant to.
But you're probably thinking like it's probably the last thing he needs right now. It was.
Oh well, there's always something, boo. This
But
one's an
it's-
actual thing, though.
It is real.
Actually, there has been some things these past couple of weeks, so it's true.
Yeah. This one, I don't mind saying. My brother started having seizures last week, and it just really, he's 24 younger brother. He's 24 years old. Never had them before in his life. It just really, really shook me up. And like he's fine. He got out of hospital the same day, and he's waiting for more tests to figure out what had happened. But it just, really shakes you up when your younger brother is,
Absolutely. It'd be so scary, especially if it's something brand new. It's got things to do with your brain, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, like seizures don't happen for no reason. So it was really freaky. Like it was a really weird week last week. So, but sorry everyone. I am sorry about that. Not that like I could help it, but I'm sorry that we've missed.
I think you should just apologize. Just
Yeah. Well, I also think like August has been a weird month for us because we had so much on.
I'm so happy because this is the last. So last weekend is the last of all of my plans because for July and August, it's just been away every weekend and moving and all this sorts of stuff, and I spent too much money. And now I'm finally in a place where I have no plans until Christmas, which for me is great. I mean, there will be plans.
They'll come in, yeah.
But I knew about all of these plans in like June. And so, to get it out of the way, now I can spend time at home. I really want to get into Netflix as well as spending more time on things like this podcast and actually just other things that interest me,
Yeah.
And try and figure that out. So, I'm super excited.
Well, speaking about weekends gone, what did you get up to this weekend? Why don't you inform us about your trip?
I was in Ireland.
Yeah.
In the west of Ireland.
Nowhere near me.
Again. Pardon?
Nowhere near me.
Nowhere near you, pardon me. So I was near Galway, I think. So it's this place called Castlebar. Have you heard of it? Well, I mean, you're in Northern Ireland, I don't know, but it's West Island. We fly into a place called Knock, and then we drove like sort of half an hour to where we're staying. And the reason why we went, I think I'd mentioned this before, is my mum's mum was Irish, and she was born on an island and lived on it for years until she moved to London, called County Clare. And it's a tiny island at the moment. I think there's about 140, 150 people on it. And so we went to Ireland to visit this small island. And so we stayed in Castlebar, and then on Saturday we got the ferry over to this place. And it was really, really nice. It was a lot of walking. I mean, this island was deserted. It was like, there's one cab that goes around, this big like sort of red van type thing. Everyone had their cars, but the cars looked like they were third world cars like they were just not new. They were all beaten up. Some people had cling film for windows. There were just sheep and cows everywhere and horses all over the rugby pitch. They had this one rugby pitch. It had one shop, one community centre, and one bar.
Madness.
Crazy. So we walked around for about 3 hours up all of these hills.
I bet you love that.
Oh, I was quite powerful, like, because my mum and stuff, a lot of old people, so they were just partying along, but we all did it. And it wasn't awful. The weather was weird. Like, it wasn't cold. And it wasn't even raining. It was as if like there was mist in the air. But we went to see the house that my mum's mum grew up in, which was quite decrepit, actually. A lot of the houses were being built there, which is really, it didn't look great. It wasn't pretty, I must say.
No.
And they had this event happening where, so on this island, there was this 13-year-old kid who'd killed himself driving, and the car flipped and fell on top of him.
Jesus.
I know, it's really bad. 13 years old. And they have something called, like, I think they called it Monk's Mass or something, I don't know. But people from the island and outside who like might have been from there or locally on the mainland came over to have this mass at like 1 o'clock. So basically everything stopped between like 12 and 2. So the one shop was closed, the one bar was closed, the one cab was gone. That's why we had to walk around. And we walked past the mass and stuff, and it was quite sad, but also, it was very interesting to see. Yeah, so that's what we did. My mum got lost.
Where?
In the airport.
Oh.
We lost my mum in the airport when we arrived. Oh my god, it was such a big drama. We thought she was kidnapped.
In Ireland.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's unlikely he'll listen to this, but my mum's got this friend, and he lives in Ireland, miles away, 120 kilometers away or something. And he knew you were coming, and he was like, "Oh, I'll come and meet you at the airport." It's no way near, bearing in mind. He had to drive like 3 or 4 hours, some stupidness. She was like, "Don't show up here. We have things to do."
Oh,
What does he do?
shows up.
He shows up. We were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he's here. I can't believe it."
How rude.
It's really rude, isn't it? We had
Really
plans. We had to
rude.
be
Yeah.
somewhere.
Uninvited. Like,
Told not to go.
yeah, don't come, bitch. We don't want to see your face.
So we went to get our rental cars, and he was there, and we were like, "Fuck's sake," because he was like, "Oh, we should all get some food," and we were like, "We can't. We've got plans. We need to go here, and then we need to go there, whatever." He didn't really understand. So my mum ends up going in his van, and we were all supposed to drive together, and we're supposed to go to this meeting point. We go to this meeting point. It's just him and my mum in the van, in their van. My mum's cousin in his own car, and us in our car, and we're waiting. They don't show up. We're getting all stressed. My mum's phone doesn't work because she's got such an old phone. There's no, like, I don't know, international calling or something, or, had to be unlocked. He doesn't have a phone. We don't even know his last name. And we're getting stressed because we need to go to get the keys for the Airbnb because he gave us a half an hour slot.
Shit.
So we went to go there. They knew where to meet us. We said the Lidl in Castlebar, but they don't come. And then 2 hours later, my mum calls. And we were just like, oh my God, we thought we had to call the police, try and find her. Maybe he's kidnapped because this guy's really weird. He's really.
Oh my God. Why would your mum get in the van?
She knows him. She's known him for years. It's just that he is fucking weird. And, we just always thought that he just, like, secretly loves my mum. The way that he talks. I don't know, the way he is. It's not cool.
That's freaky, that.
Then he comes, so he drives over, and then he's like, if it wasn't for me, and he was going on it. If it wasn't for me, your mum wouldn't have got here. We were like, if it wasn't for you, she wouldn't be fucking lost.
Oh my God.
Turns out they got stuck in the car park for like 40 minutes. And he was like, yeah, you just left your mum. You just left her. If it wasn't for me. And we were like, fuck off. You're not even supposed to be here.
Like, you didn't just leave your mum. She could have got in your car or your cousin's car or whatever.
Yeah. But they sat there and waited thinking that we wouldn't have left her in the airport, which we did because we wanted to get the keys, but we were going to go back. Anyway, she called. It was all a big drama. And then we got over it, so that was good. But Ireland was really nice. Ireland was really, really nice.
We had all right weather last weekend as well. Or it was just weekend past, I guess.
Sunday was good, but the Saturday wasn't great.
No?
No. Yeah. What about you? What did you get up to?
This weekend, I went to watch my first hurling game. So I know the sport, but I didn't really ever watch it. A couple of my friends here play for a team, and I went down to watch, and it is fucking brutal, I have to say. Like, I could never play that sport. People getting whacked with mallets, and, like, the ball goes up in the air, and people can grab it with their hands, but people can also hit it out of the air.
Oh.
So, yeah. Like,
do you have gloves?
No gloves. The only thing you have is a helmet.
So they're just getting broken fingers?
Oh, like, literally, it's such a scrappy, and then everybody fights. When something doesn't go wrong, it doesn't go their way, everybody fights.
That's hot. Are they hot?
It's a, yeah.
It was ladies now. No, joking.
Yeah, no, it was a very aesthetically pleasing sport. Because they all wear, like, short shorts as well.
Oh my God. I need to watch it.
It is, and do you know what? It's such a, like, I have no idea what was going on, but it was such a fun sport. And you get, like I remember you get 3 points if you hit it in the net, and you get 1 point if it goes over the bar, like in rugby.
But did you not play this in, like, school or anything like that?
No, it's a very Catholic sport.
Okay, because you're Northern Irish.
No, you can still play it up here. It was just our school didn't offer it.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't say it's a very Catholic sport. It probably is a very Catholic sport. But yeah, it's and then obviously Gaelic football. So fun. Like, it was a lot of fun, I have to say. Unfortunately, the game I watched, the team I was supporting, they lost, and it was the last game of the season. So,
it's a summer sport.
Yeah. But I'll go watch more. Like, when I get a chance, I definitely will.
Well, next year.
Yeah. And what else I do? I've literally been bossing the gym, and I'm very happy because I started the gym. I put a really cheesy quote on my Instagram there now, which was, what was it? I don't know if you've seen it.
If you don't work hard enough, something about some change, live life and love. It was some bullshit. Change ain't gonna come if you wait for it.
No, I'll just say it. It was, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change.
Oh my God. You must have
Yeah.
been crying as you typed it. Like the goodness.
But yes, no, I've been hitting the gym quite heavily these last few weeks, and I've lost a good bit of weight. I think I've lost a total of 5 inches off my waist. When I say waist, it's my belly waist, so the measure waist across your belly button. So I've
Your
lost
actual
five
waist, yeah.
inches. Yeah, but I was measuring down by my jeans, and I was like, well, because I was like, they measured my waist, and I put like it was whatever it was. I'm not going to say, but I was like, oh my god.
What your weight? You're not going to say what your jean size is?
Well, my jean size is 36.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I wear.
Yeah, I was 36 pushing 38 when I was like my decision to get heavily into the gym was to not
When was
buy.
this?
Well, you see, because I started the gym again last year, and I took a 7 month break for Christmas, and I went back. I got
You know how
shamed
you
into
feel.
going. I walked into the coffee shop here, and all the PTs and everybody was sat around the table, and I walked in, and I was like glaring at them with my eyes. I was giving them this, and I walked past, got my coffee, and left again. And just as I was leaving, one of the guys that owns the gym, Mickey, he was like, "Oh, hey Ash, how's it going?" I was like, "Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there."
This group of
and
gods. They're sipping coffee.
yeah, probably all topless as well because they're all immaculate.
Literally glistening.
And I was like, "Oh, I will come out again," and then they all laughed. And then I was like, "Well, I'm not going to prove them wrong by these dickheads." So I jumped on my bike and went out the next day and joined back up, and I've not looked back since. So that was back, yeah, July. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I've like it is like I think we talked. No, it was June. It was June because I think when the first episode we talked about me going back to CrossFit. So it's been then. See here, and I think I've not lost a lot of weight, but I've lost a lot of fat, which is good. So I'm still.
For sure.
I weighed myself today. I'm 97.1 kilograms, which
I
is
didn't realize you got that big, I'm not going to lie.
but then I've always carried my weight well. Like I know, like front on, when I turn to the side, you see the Buddha belly, but front on, like I do carry. I think I do carry. I'm very lucky that I carry my weight well.
Yeah, I've always looked. I mean, that's nearing the kind of weights I've always been. So obviously, I've always been really, really big and stocky. But yeah, I think a lot of mine is sort of muscle as well as fat. Plus, I've got like really wide hips.
Mm,
That's why I have to wear like big jeans because my actual hips or waist. What I said, wide hips, like where you put the jeans on, isn't so small. But because of my legs and my bum, I had to get a bigger size. But I refuse to do that now, and that's why I
mm.
get a hole in every single pair of jeans.
Yeah,
I just
well,
I want to go a bigger size.
well, I got denim to spare if you want me to send some over.
I always do that. I put those patches, those little guards inside my thighs because that's
Yeah.
where it always comes.
So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much been.
Well, your weight loss is kind of not your weight loss, but I think it's got something to do with what I want to talk about today. So
You want to talk
yeah,
about me?
let's stop talking about you for this moment. I'll bring it back to you. So lucky you. But yeah, let's talk about. I'll start with what I want to talk about, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure.
This weekend, Cosmopolitan had put someone on the front cover called Tess Holliday, and she is a plus-size American model. She's a model. She works as a model. She's plus-size. She's really, really big. And yeah, this was the first time that Cosmo had put someone on the front cover that was not model-shaped. Yeah? So a plus-size model,
Okay, yeah.
not stick thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Piers Morgan...
Which is a good thing.
Well, Piers Morgan doesn't seem to think so.
Right. Well, I mean, Piers Morgan.
He returned back to Good Morning Britain, and he said that it promotes obesity, it promotes unhealthy eating, because she's not like regular size. She is really big.
Okay, let me have a little Google. What was your name again?
Tess
Holiday.
Holliday.
Well, that's a nice name.
It's not her real name either.
All right. Okay, well, here she is.
Can you see the cover?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So, yeah, she's not.
She's very curvy.
I mean, she's big. She is obese. She's a plus size model.
Mm.
She's very large. And he said that. And the reason I said, well, so you think it's a good thing that she's on the cover?
Well, I think I think it's a good thing that the magazine's breaking away from stick thin models.
Absolutely.
I personally would never want to be that weight. And to me, it's not a weight thing. It's a fitness thing. If she's that large and fit, look at props in rugby. They're large guys, but they're also really, really fit.
Well, that's what I mean, because he's like, it's unhealthy, and because she's morbidly obese, right? And he kept on using that word, which I think is a bit harsh, maybe a bit unfair. I don't know what unless you know her or someone's ins and outs, you can't say whether they're unhealthy or not. I know that, in fact, that's what we have this stigma. Someone's thin, they must be healthy. Someone's larger, they must be unhealthy, which isn't true. Exactly. I don't think it's true. You don't know if she exercises regularly. We don't know what her diet is. We don't know if she smokes, drinks excessively. All we can see is a picture of this person who is larger than what you normally see, and then he's deemed her as unhealthy. I understand. I feel like I understand I understand the perception. I don't want to say I agree with him, right? Because I don't. I don't agree. I actually don't agree. I think it's important to have a diverse variety of people available to see, right? So if it wasn't her, then it would be, someone with a hijab or something like that, kind of things like that. But obviously this got to do, being that large, you can question whether they're healthy or not. And the problem is the article doesn't really talk about her health, which is fine, because I don't think you need to talk, just because someone isn't stick thin doesn't mean you then have to directly go to their health, because that's not the point of the cover.
Yeah.
In my mind. But I thought it was a bit much. I thought it was out of order, actually. I thought it was really out of order of Piers Morgan to say that. But although I can understand that she isn't tiny, she is also not average size. If there was a medium of like size for women, but
it's sort of like they've gone from one extreme to the next, isn't it? I mean,
that's the thing, isn't it?
I've just been looking at more pictures. She's a big girl, which if she's comfortable, fair, but you can't on one end say models are also too skinny and that's not healthy. It looks really sickly, and then just go to the other end of the spectrum.
That's the only thing I'd like to know. She's large, right? So I think it's important to have a wide range of people visible.
Yeah, totally.
But is she unhealthy looking? I don't know. I think I agree. Then that if society is putting to me and saying that people who are that big are unhealthy, I think we're taught obesity is bad for you, right? But that's a fact.
It is bad for you. Like, it's a strain on your organs, your heart. It's a tricky one, because in the world we live in, you can't say anything wrong these days.
I mean, well, he didn't say anything wrong. He was pushing it. Like, if you watch the video, he went. He did go off on one a little bit. I would say it was a rant. It was an out rant. And then the editor of Cosmo came onto the show as well, and they hyped up a little bit on their website, Cosmopolitan. There, look, watch the editor in chief own Piers Morgan. When I was like, I don't think she owns him. Doesn't have much of an argument,
Clickbait.
Properly, yeah. She doesn't own him. She barely has an argument. She's like, these people need to be seen. Well, everyone needs to be seen. It's not, he said that she was doing it for clickbait, putting someone like her on the front cover, which I don't think, potentially, yes, but that's the whole point. You want more people to see larger people, on TV, or any sort of diverse range of people. That's what you want. So if you're the first to do it, then fair enough.
And is Cosmopolitan the first publication to do something like this?
No, I don't think so, because there's a famous one model who does America's Next Top Model, and she's called Ashley Graham, and I think she's the first plus size model to go on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Ashley Graham, G.
Yeah, she is a big time plus size model, really well known in the industry, but she's not as big as her.
No,
so when you talk about curving,
the girl I just googled here is not as big as Holiday.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's tough, because she's not. She's not as big. Like
this girl's beautiful.
Well, yeah, she's a model. She's a supermodel, in fact, and she looks like.
I think I might be straight.
Tess Holliday. She's got a cover on a magazine called Self.
So I'm still looking at Ashley Graham.
She's gorgeous. She's also really nice. If you watch an America's Next Top Model, she's a really good judge.
Okay. Right. Okay.
But she's not the first. I think it's the first time Cosmopolitan have put someone, and I think it's one of the first times in the UK. So Cosmo is a UK magazine.
Is it only UK?
I don't think it is only UK, but this edition
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
was a UK one.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's bad to promote this level. I don't know. I think it is bad. I don't know. It's bad to promote this at the same level, at the same way as it's bad to promote girls who are too skinny.
It seems like two extremes for sure.
Yeah, and I think Cosmopolitan might have done it for the shock factor, like you said, clickbait, or
I didn't say that.
Pierce Morgan said. Sorry.
Yeah, just to be clear.
Well, you and him are pretty much the same mind at the minute, so
I would say so. Yeah, we are one and the same.
yeah.
Um, but then also it is important to have. I could probably keep flip flopping because I think there's a level of being healthy and taking care of yourself. Even if you are a thicker set person, I count myself as a heavy set type of person, so I'll never be stick thin. I've got really wide hips. I'm shaped like a pear. My legs are really, they're really meaty. There's a lot of size to them, but
You're healthy. You play rugby and you go on 3 hour walks around Ireland.
3 hours.
You're a healthy person. Like
But I'm
again,
definitely not healthy.
we're not. We don't know Tess Holiday's, like you said. We don't know her exercise regime, smoking, alcohol, drugs. We don't know what she puts into her system and what she does to balance it out. She might be incredibly healthy.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I guess you need when you talk about health, it's not just about your appearance.
Because there's times I struggle climbing up a set of stairs.
I mean, I have that most days.
Yeah, the sweat.
It's my knees, though, in all fairness. But yeah, I'd be like, I'm trying to not breathe heavily. I'm like, but I don't want people to know that it was really hard for me to walk up those stairs.
So you're like holding your breath at the same time.
Yeah, I'm trying to like do it really like.
Control. Keep the diaphragm in place.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold it really, really strong because I was like, God, those stairs were tough.
And then if somebody says you're right, I'm like, I just stubbed my toe.
But that's why I think like I can't be healthy because I do play rugby every now and again and I do exercise, but I do struggle on certain things, and stairs are one of those things that really kill me. Like, it's true. And I'm bigger than I have been for a long time, and I've always been technically obese, like even when I was smaller. So that's why I don't like a lot of these things where people.
I think the scales that say obese is wrong, because one of the guys I went to school with or uni with, he was in the RAF and he played rugby, and he looked like an athlete, but because of his size, he was so big, like as in muscly big, he was classed as obese. But he wasn't like he wasn't like a bodybuilder. He wasn't anything like that. It was just.
But they just think because you're a certain height, you have to be a certain weight, which is not true.
No.
I'm just reading up about Tess Holliday now because I want to see if there's anything because she's an activist over body positive. Body positivity, pardon me. And she said she embraces the word fat and advocates that people should be able to eat as much and whatever they want without suffering from social ostracism. What do you think of that?
I love how you just ask me these questions. You like come up with these really hot questions. Like, so what do you think of that? I'm like, okay, well, what's your opinion first, Matt?
It's difficult to say you should be able to eat as much as you want, whatever you want, because this is against without suffering, so being ostracized from society, which is fair. You don't want us to stand out for the wrong things or people notice you because of these things. But I don't know if I believe with the statement that like you should be able to eat whatever you want as much as you want, because that's what can lead to unhealthy lifestyles. You know?
I disagree. I don't think you can eat I mean, you can if you balance it out with exercise. Like, right. So part of, like, for example, here live my mum. My mum's got a bad back at the minute. Well, she's had it for a couple of years hence why I'm here. But I've recently got my mum to give up smoking. She kicked a 30-year-old habit, which is great. But the first thing she went to do is eating, and she has put on so much weight.
This is your mum? My
mum, yeah.
Oh, that's what smoking does, isn't it? A lot when people finish like smoking.
Yeah.
Go straight up to eating loads, yeah.
And she won't mind talking about it because, first of all, she doesn't listen, but also I tell it to her face. She's put on weight. But I'm trying to explain to her now, Mum, you can't eat what you want and expect to not get fat. You have to think about the consequences of what you eat. You're unable to do exercise, so it's all about the balance. And I think, in order to eat what you want, you need to be able to go out and exercise, because it's not just your own health. Is also, I mean, if you're in the mindset where you want to eat whatever you want, and being body positive, you also then maybe perhaps don't care that much about your own health if you're not balancing out with the exercise, which is fine. That's your own personal choice. But there's also
Mm.
strains on the NHS. If you're going to be larger and live an unhealthy lifestyle, why? Sounds bad, but why should we pay for it?
Well, I don't know if it's like cares because I think sometimes it can be a compulsion. I also think it might if it's overeating, like overindulging in many things. If it's there can be sort of mental health aspects to it. I know that I eat out of comfort, so when I feel like really bad about something, if I have a tough day, or if I'm feeling quite sad and stuff, like I eat, I know it for sure.
Yeah, but we all do that.
I don't think everyone does. I think I wish I was one of those people that go to the gym and be like, "Oh, I'm going to exercise the pain away," and I'm like, "Oh no, that's not me."
No, I,
Um,
I think a lot. It's not uncommon for people when they've had a bad day to sit and eat. Like I think
I
it's
think to go with their vices, just in general, whatever vice they have. I know that for me, it's like bad food is one of my things, and different people have different things.
it's my thing as well. Like
Mm. You
I
like
would.
chocolate a lot, don't you?
Oh my god, chocolate. Yeah.
I should have read this before we went into it as well. It does also say that she trains with a personal trainer 4 times a week, as well as hiking and swimming.
What?
But she
Anyway.
says that she doesn't diet because she doesn't believe they work. And I guess that's important because
Well, it is important because it means she's not just like sat at home eating and being all like, "I love my body, eat, eat, eat." She's out there being healthy, which is perfect.
mm, I guess it should be a different measure of what we're trying to say is healthy necessarily. And more than anything, even if she were unhealthy or not, I think there are plenty of other people out there that might live similar lives to her or be a similar shape, maybe to unhealthy lifestyles and stuff like that. But the fact that little bit at the end about being ostracized, I think is quite important. Just because you may not have complete control of the way that you eat doesn't mean that you should feel ostracized from society because there are people who don't eat anything who won't necessarily receive the same treatment because they don't look unhealthy, but they could well be, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know if malnourishment has the same weight with the NHS. I don't know if that's a massive hit on public health though, because obesity is a hit on the NHS. Like you said, paying for it is a big deal, especially when, fair enough, if people haven't sought help when they first start and they end up being really large. If they
mm.
end up being really large, go to the NHS, get help, and then continue the same cycles, then you think, should you continue paying for something where someone will continually not help themselves?
Mm.
This is not necessarily the same, but I think those kind of things happen. I think those cycles don't get broken. My little brother's dad, he keeps going to hospital for smoking cigarettes. He's not supposed to because it will just destroy his body.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps going to hospital. He can't breathe, and he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it,
Yeah,
and then he stays in hospital for a week, and he's killing himself, and he doesn't want, and that's being paid for.
mm.
And I guess it's the same thing. If someone continually goes back into it, even if you've been told that you shouldn't, because this is what your body tells you to do it, and you're not using all of the help that's provided.
Well, I was just about to say with smoking as well. It's very similar. Like there's a lot of strain in the NHS from people who are in there from their hearts and problems from
Mm.
smoking. And I'd be interested in what our listeners think about the magazine cover.
Yeah, because I don't think I have a clear idea. I think it's really important to have someone on there, but
What, as in on the front cover, or just somebody on the front cover?
someone that isn't,
Skinny,
you
stick
know,
thin.
stick thin model.
I think
Stick,
magazines should go with people who. Oh no, I won't say it. I was going to say people. Oh, I'll say it. I was going to say magazines should go with people, a more variety of people, not in the middle, because that's where the majority of the population are.
mm.
That we're not stick thin, and we're not obese or larger or plus size. I mean, I just think as a percentage of the population.
Yeah, so the next cover should be something else that isn't necessarily just a model.
Yeah, back to another model.
Yeah, or is a model but isn't
More
a
Ashley
defined
Graham,
model.
please.
Pardon?
More Ashley Graham.
She's too big time. I think she's massive,
Is
like in
she?
terms of fame.
She looks a bit like Nigella Lawson.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Nigella Lawson.
I don't know. Her cooking isn't that great.
I literally just bought
She
her
can make you
Christmas book.
fat. Oh my god, what?
I bought her Christmas book the other day.
Everything's so indulgent, isn't it?
Uh, well, I had a Nigella Christmas. I cooked Christmas dinner this year, and it was a Nigella Christmas.
It was all butter.
It was butter. We just roasted butter and put it in the table.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it was so good though.
Anyway,
Uh,
I do say well done for Cosmopolitan, but and I don't think that it's right to then just assume that she's unhealthy. But it'd be interesting to see, to go from one extreme of like thin model to someone who's so big.
mm.
I wonder what that message does. I'd like, what kind of message does it send? That's one thing I can't understand. I'm not really clear on it myself. I'd like to understand what kind of message it would send. Is it one of unhealthiness, or is it everyone should be visible, which is fair and accepted?
What do you think? I mean, in prep for this, I mean, it wasn't, for example, and maybe they did it just to totally avoid the whole health and fitness thing that would obviously be a repercussion. But I'm just thinking the scenario that would you say the editor was on with Pierce Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
and he's saying that she's unhealthy, but she clearly does exercise and does do this. Would it not be in Cosmopolitan's better interest to have that sort of research ready for these sort of comments?
Well, that's why she didn't own him.
Yeah.
But also, then I would be like, it might be in their best interests, but should you stick up for someone or battle their point by saying, well, actually, they do exercise, so, because is that the point?
Well, if Pierce Morgan's saying that she's unhealthy, then the point would be, well, no, she is plus size, but she's also very healthy because she does this and she does this and she does that.
Fair. It could be, absolutely.
So I think it's actually
Maybe she
bad
would have
on
owned it a little bit.
Cosmopolitan to not have that sort of answer ready to defend the person they put on the front.
Should she have to justify and give out this list of exercises in her regime, though?
Who?
Tess.
Well, she did in another interview, so.
She does.
Well, that's where you've read it, didn't you?
No, I said that she doesn't. It's not about, the interview isn't about.
No, but you read it somewhere else online.
Oh, yeah, but not on the Cosmopolitan thing. So, yeah, they would have had to look somewhere else. They would have had to look somewhere else, not necessarily in the interview they had with Tess Holliday.
Do you know what? I can't even. It's bad on Pierce Morgan if he's going to make such an outrage. Well, that's what he does, isn't it?
I was going to say, well.
Yeah, but like to not even research. I mean, you looked what there and you found it inside 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Pierce Morgan. What can you say? The guy's a tool.
I know.
Mm.
Anyway, I just thought it interesting because I had this like fleeting moment of thinking, well, what if what he says makes sense? But I think I've worked my way around now to thinking, well, there is a need for it, and regardless of whether they're healthy or not, the fact that people are visible of all kinds, the representation needs to be there.
I think I'm more comfortable with it knowing that she is healthy and she does have an active lifestyle.
I'm thinking now that that's not the point of it, and so it's not necessary to know whether they're healthy or not. Whether they are active or not. Pardon me.
Well, I don't want to go back into another kind of debate, but surely it's better to promote something that's, yes, big, but also healthy than just being big, and the misconception that people can be that big without any health risks.
But then you're justifying your size when it's more about actually, it's best to promote you look the way that you do, and that should be celebrated and not ostracized. Regardless of what you do, you should be proud of yourself.
Well, you should be, you shouldn't feel bad that you're larger, but you shouldn't just be complacent in the fact that, well, because there's a plus size girl in a magazine, I'm okay to be this big. Pass me some more food.
But a model doesn't have to then, every time they do a cover, justify their weight by saying, well, actually, I do eat 5 meals a day. It's all about justification as opposed to,
well,
are we promoting this,
I think if you're going to be a role model for people, you need to give the insight into the fact that, yes, I am a plus size woman, but the facts are there to say people who are larger tend to be more unhealthy and don't exercise. I do that. And that's why I'm comfortable being with who I am, because my health isn't at risk.
And it's difficult because she's so large.
She's very large.
That's what gets me, I guess, because maybe there is a certain level of it, and she is so large. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd be interested to hear what our listeners think. So if they would like to leave a comment on our Instagram, they should do that.
Or our Twitter.
Or tweet. Yeah, that's a good idea. Twitter's good.
Wow.
I
don't think... Do you want to talk about something else? Because we've been talking about an hour and...
Have we been talking over an hour, have we?
Well, no, almost. No, about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I don't mean it as in, do you want to? I mean, literally, like, do you want to?
Well, I was going to talk about Eminem's new album came out, and we can make this
Okay.
really, really quick because so Eminem's new album came out, and he did a Beyonce, and he landed a surprise album on his fans. I've listened to the album. I think it's a good album. It's more back in line with how he was when I was a teenager growing up with his first two Marshall Mathers MP and whatever else he did back in the day. So I quite liked it. But there's a song on there, and the song is called. I was listening to it earlier on, and I'm forgetting the name of it. I think it's called Fall. Yeah, it's called Fall. And he basically calls out, I don't know these people. I'm not cool enough, but Tyler the Creator, I think calls him a faggot. Now I don't like using that word, so he uses that, and he's got a bit of backlash for it, being that it's 2018. You shouldn't be using words like this in your lyrics. What do you think of that?
I think that sort of language and behavior has always been in rap music, to be honest. And I know it's not, the 90s or the early 2000s, but it doesn't surprise me at all.
Does it bother
Not
you?
at all.
Does it bother you?
Does it bother me?
Hmm.
I think it's unacceptable.
You think it's unacceptable?
Yeah, I guess I don't take it personally. I don't know because I don't listen to it. And I wouldn't, I wouldn't listen to, I probably wouldn't listen to it, to be honest,
Hmm.
because of that reason, I would say.
But then, one of my favorite Christmas songs, like it is the best Christmas song,
Yeah.
The Pogues.
Oh, I don't know what song this is.
And the bells were ringing out for Christmas. No?
Yeah.
You know that song, yeah?
hmm
Can you hear my tummy? It's proper rumbling. It's making.
No, I can't hear your
It's,
tummy.
it's all like feed me. Anyway,
Did you
so
put some gluten?
no, I didn't. It's just I think it's because I'm drinking a cup of tea, and sometimes it just you can hear it go around because I'm so hungry all the time. Uh, um, so in that song they use the faggot word.
Say this again.
In that song, in that Christmas song, they say faggot.
In what context?
They say, "Oh my goodness, I can't even forget the ring. You scumbag, you maggot, you cheap, lousy faggot."
What?
Oh my god, you don't know this song? Right, I will play it right now.
Do they use it in that way though?
Yeah, I hope they don't.
Oh my god.
Did you never notice that before?
I mean, I've never really listened to the song
Oh, it's a really good song.
because my favorite Christmas song is obviously Mariah Carey.
I mean, it's up there in my top 10, but
Top 10. I don't even know that many songs. Anyways,
so I just know that every time the song comes out, there's always like social people being social justice warriors being, oh, they should ban this song or they should remake it without and I don't agree with that. I don't like the word, but at the same time, that song represents historically a time when it was okay to say that word because
and that time is no longer.
no,
It's true. I guess. But for them, it's okay.
well, who for these two?
For Eminem, and actually, I'm just reading up not Chance. Tyler, the creator, also uses the word, and he's been criticized for it.
Yeah, well, like you say, it's very indicative of rap music, isn't it? So
I think so.
it's part of the genre.
It's like using the N word in it as well, though, but that's a bit different because that's supposed to be the whole, oh, we're taking ownership of the word kind of thing. When actually, if he's not gay, then should he be able to use the word?
Yeah, but he says like he uses it as he uses the word bitch, and he's like when he calls a girly bitch, he's not saying you're a female dog.
I think that's a really bad word to use for women, but then I'm really bad because I say it to guys all the time. All the
Isn't it?
time. And sometimes I forget where I am and then I'll say it at work. And I shouldn't have said it.
But I think the way he's saying it, not that I'm justifying it for him, but I think the way he's explaining it is that he just looks at it as a derogatory term that isn't about sexuality. It's just a derogatory, which I don't know. I don't agree with. I don't because like I just remember whenever I can't remember ever pronounce his name, the French rugby player, Mathieu
Pastора.
Bastero. He said the F word on the pitch once, and people went cray cray.
That was really bad though.
Yeah, it was bad.
He
But
was saying it to hurt someone and be mean.
well, so is Eminem in the song.
That's why I think it's unacceptable.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's acceptable to use that word at all.
Yeah, I don't use it. I try not to.
Do you think it's acceptable?
Well, like for example, I don't know. Does it make me a double standard if I say yes, it's okay for the Pogues to have it in their song, but I don't. I would never use the word.
Um, I want to know what the Pogues. We have to know what their intention is, but I think that I don't think it's a double standard. No, I just don't believe that it's used in the same context. Like Eminem clearly uses it as an insult to a person that is alive. Is this person they're talking about in the Pogue song alive?
Well, I think the people in the Pogue song, the girl who sings it is dead. The guy,
No, yeah, but like the context of the song, she's talking to him.
yeah, but I don't like. I think it's more two characters rather than the two people.
If they're using it as, if she's using it as a homophobic slur, then no, that's not acceptable, and it's a double
But
standard.
I think it's
Just because you love the song
well,
and they're
no,
Irish.
they are Irish, but they I think in that he's not gay, and he it's you're still sort of saying in the context of calling somebody a faggot, because a lot of the um discussions I've had of street people is surely it's okay to call street people a faggot because they're not gay, but it's more the representation of, well, no, the word faggot is historically something used against gay people, and as such, you're actually, if you're referring to a straight man as somebody who's a faggot, it's still derogatory and very insulting.
Did you say that someone had said if you use that word to someone, this is the conversation you had, that if you used it against someone who was straight, that it wouldn't be?
Yeah, so it was off the back of the rugby player, and they said, well, the guy he called a faggot wasn't gay, so it's a total fine word to use.
That is ridiculous. I find that ridiculous. You're using the word as an insult. You're demeaning gay people by saying that they're faggots.
Yeah,
So you're
totally.
saying that because and if they were, that they are less than.
Hmm. But then that's what she's saying in the
Then
song.
all of it's unacceptable.
But I really like that song.
Well, you can't listen to it anymore.
But it's my
You can't listen to Eminem song.
I didn't mind it.
And you can't listen to any song where they say bitches and hoes.
Does Beyonce not use the word bitch?
Beyonce?
Yeah,
When?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, I stopped listening to Beyonce when she started talking, when she started doing like Lemonade and the album before that.
You didn't like Lemonade?
Well, it's just like, I like melodies and I liked her when she was singing loads. And then when it got all like speaking and stuff, I was like,
Where
what about
she's
the high notes?
where she's like, trust,
Yeah.
sensational.
I was like, you've just given up on singing because
I
now you're just like, this is like lyrical speak or something, like poetry.
I think that Formation was a fantastic song.
It's all right. The song is okay.
Okay, well, it's okay.
But
I
yeah.
can't listen to anything explicit. That's what you're saying.
Um,
The F
yeah,
words, the fuck word's fine. Fuck's fine.
that's fine. And
What about
what about what?
the C word?
Oh, that's a horrible word.
I think it's my favorite word.
It's a vile word. I never say it unless I really mean it. And that's not often. But anyway, I think that no, I don't think it's right to use that kind of word, especially I guess you're talking about modern times. I don't know about when the Pogues made this song and what the intention was, but um, Eminem knows what he's doing and what he's saying, and he's saying it as an insult to someone. And I wish that it didn't take words like that to make a song more interesting, but obviously it does.
Do you think it makes Eminem homophobic by saying that word?
I don't think it makes him homophobic. No, not at all. I
Mm.
think it's a homophobic thing to say, homophobic slur, but I don't know whether he's against gay people or not. In fact, I know there was a history of it before with Eminem, but
But Eminem and Elton John, for example, are quite close.
who told you that?
Elton, he called me up.
Elton John told you that.
Yeah, he called me up last week. No,
And
well,
what did he say?
he was just like, "Hey, girl, it's Elton here." I'm like, "Elton who?" He's like, "Elton JJ," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, Elton," and he's like, "Just me and Eminem are cool." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks for that," and then he hung up.
I don't know whether he's homophobic. I don't think it makes him homophobic at all. I just think that if kids and people that listen to music and young adults and things like that, they'll start saying it as if it's okay. It's gotten to the point now where people think it's okay to say the N word, and I don't think that that's acceptable, to be honest. So yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he's homophobic. It's saying here that Eminem has performed with and befriended Elton John. You're right. Endorsed gay marriage and repeatedly told in interviews that he doesn't actually have any problems with gay people.
Mm-hmm.
But he continues to sprinkle his lyrics with language that's not hard to construe as homophobic. That's so strange, isn't it?
But like I said, I've read interviews that he doesn't actually believe it's a homophobic word. He doesn't use it in the context of it being homophobic.
Say that again.
I did read that he doesn't believe he's using it in a context where it's homophobic.
But I do think there's something in where people aren't using it for an intention, but then still use words and things like that. It suddenly becomes okay.
Well, I think it's similar to what we're talking about. He says Eminem has claimed previously that the use of anti-gay slurs such as dyke and faggot are not actually aimed at the LGBT community.
They definitely are owned by those communities, though.
But I think it's similar to that where straight people think it's okay to use the word if it's not directed at a gay person, but even though it is still a massive insult.
No, I don't. Yeah, I think that's wrong. I think that's crazy. That's like saying if you call someone who's not white, someone who's not black, the N-words, it's okay.
I know. This is the exact same argument I've had with those idiots online.
But that's not true yet. That's definitely not true in my mind. Not at all.
No.
Anyway, no, I don't think it's right to use that word.
Cool. Well, there we go. That's all I want to talk about. What do you guys think? Who's listening? What do you think? Do you think it's okay to use the F word?
No. Who said that?
The F word being frog.
How is your frog?
He abandoned
Oh my
me.
God, you can't get him off your mind.
He's abandoned me like everybody else.
Oh, babes.
I was at the gym today for 6 hours and he did not show up.
That's why you lost so much weight. You're just going there looking for this little frog. More little froggy blowjobs.
Yep.
And you don't show up.
Rabbit. Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to say?
No, I don't actually. So that's the end of that.
Well, I just want to say thanks everyone for listening, and I want to make sure people out there are following us on Instagram, following us on Twitter. We'd love to hear your thoughts on both the issues we talked about today. So that's whether what's her name again? Tess Holliday.
Mm-hmm.
The Tess Holliday cover on Cosmopolitan and Eminem's use of the F word in his fall song, which also features Bon Iver, which I really like.
Oh.
Bon
I
Iver.
hear this song now.
Yeah, go on. Are you on Spotify? It's on there. Kamikaze.
Yeah, will do. Do you know what else is on Spotify?
What?
Our podcast. You can also subscribe. Oi!
Oh, that was
Smooth.
nice. That was so
That
smooth.
was sweet, wasn't it?
That was as
That's good.
smooth as my
You can
bollocks
subscribe
because
on
I waxed
Spotify
them.
and many other sites, such as the ones that you know, because I don't remember them.
Well, they're on our website. So if you go to www.honestpod.com, you can get direct links to everywhere. So your friends have no reason not to listen. Thanks,
All
everyone.
right. Have a lovely day.
Well, we'll end it there then.
All right.
Thanks very much, Matt.
Thank you, Ashley.
Oh, and I'm sorry again for last week. We have an episode recorded that will never get aired.
Never. We'll keep it in the archives. You never know. It'll be released. We'll find it when, we're rich and famous.
It'll be the one that got away.
It'll be in like the biography film.
Yeah. Whenever something tragic will happen, and we'll make you'll die, and then I'll make a documentary, and then we'll play this as part of the unheard footage.
You say I'll die?
Yeah, you'll die.
Okay, that's racist.
It's not racist.
Well, just assume that the black person will die first.
Well, that is exactly what I was assuming, but that's not racist. I'm just conditioned that way.
We need to end this.
Right, okay. Right, bye everyone.
Bye-bye.